Good evening. Welcome to the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 episode 9 review. Blame it on the Henny. My name is Tylane Duxworth with Tylane Duxworth Reviews, and I'm about to get this party started out, and this is a Pisces perspective. Everything in this video is alleged, okay? So I'm gonna get it to y'all Tylane style, okay? If you can please like, comment, subscribe, give me some feedback. It'll be greatly appreciated. We jump into the episode with Miss Cynthia, who is on her Nancy Drew, okay? Bravo hits us with a shady flashback recap of the Nashville incident. We cut to Cynthia, and baby Miss Cynthia Bailey is doing a post-trip debrief, okay? Like the peachy Olivia Pope that she is. Cynthia like, let me talk to everybody and get this mess straight. Next we get Cynthia meeting up with Shamea and Kelli for lunch. They seem like they becoming the best of buds, huh? Anyway, so they sitting there cackling about how they stayed in the pool to 5 a.m. with their shenanigans. Cynthia, she peeped what they was on, so she was like, y'all were drunk by then, right? And they laughed like they didn't just confess to a full-fledged Hennessy feud chaos down to the pool, okay? In Nashville. Over to Angela meeting with Cynthia. I heard them talking about my dress, about my husband, calling me Big Bird, and then Angela was like, Big Bird? Girl. Shamea tells Cynthia that Brit claims Charles out here slinging peen like DoorDash. That's just part one. Because the second part is baby Miss Angela said she heard Porsha say she would fuck Charles. Cynthia dropped her head. Cynthia was like, oh Jesus. Bravo. They hit us with the flashback of Angela marching downstairs like she the principal, catching students vaping in the hallway, y'all. Porsha wrapped in a towel. And when I say Porsha vanished like a thief in the night, baby, she ran up them stairs so fast you think she saw a damn process server. Baby, she was out. As Angela later on tells Charles that it got real fast. So Cynthia meets up with Porsha and she asks flat out, did you say you'd have sex with Charles? Of course, Porsha blames it on Hennessy. I don't remember. Cynthia was like, blame it on the Hennessy, right? Girl, not this amnesia again. Porsha tries to spin it to Cynthia like she was so mad and she left before she blew the spot up. Because you know she likes to fight. I would never F someone's husband. You lying to me. You lying to all of us. Girl, you already took Simon from Fallon. I guess we didn't see that. We was shit. We didn't see that, ma'am. Maybe the Housewives archives do not lie. Back to Miss Shamea. Kelli and Cynthia mentioned how Shamea texted Angela to check in. Angela hits back with a message that was polite but firm, okay? And not even that, I'm not going to even say a message, baby. She hit them back with a word, okay? She gave them a word, okay? A word. She just let them know exactly, like, I see all of y'all. And y'all trifling, y'all just not my cup of tea. You know, she says later on, and I think they take them like 3 weeks later. Shamea tells Cynthia that after they got back from Nashville, she decided to check on Angela. And baby, Angela hits back with, after witnessing the disrespect towards me and my husband, there's nothing more to say. Fake ass sisterhood, be blessed. I say, woo, child. Not namaste out of my face. Gone, Angela. Gone, Angela, girl. Girl, Angela, I like Angela. Cynthia is in her confessional. Things open after midnight are legs, jail, and the ER. That's why you need to take your ass to bed early. I say, tell it. Like my uncle used to say in church, preach. Gone. We move on over. Cynthia announcing to the screen flashes back, splits back rather. And Cynthia announces to Shamea and Kelli that her annual Bailey Q that she normally does for the 4th of July, she's decided to move it on over to Juneteenth, which celebrates us since it has now been named a national holiday. She also shares with them that she invited a prophet. I'm like, okay, so we not doing regular barbecues anymore, huh? We calling on the we calling on the ancestors. I have been sick all week, so I am super late with this video. and I'm trying to push my way through. Trigger Happy Edie meets up with Kelli, who is throwing a full-on bat mitzvah for her dog Cha-Cha at the park. So they out there with all the little doggies. I'm a fur animal lover, so I love the doggies, okay? So she out there, baby, all the way live for little Cha-Cha. They got balloons. Cha-Cha was at the salon, I believe she said, for 9 hours, baby. They got all kind of treats and everything. Brit pulls up with a mimosa, okay, and she starts, she pulls Kelli to the side, and she tells Kelli that her sister Cher and her have been talking, and Cher has been supportive, and Cher is going to come over to help her pack up their mom's house. And her mom is moving in with her and Mike in about 30 to 45 days. And she also mentions that ever since the drama with Kenya, her and her sisters have been interacting with one another, which they had been estranged. And she mentions that the long lost sister Tiara, you know, she called. And I say, not the drama with Kenya. You mean when you threatened Kenya? Is that what you mean, ma'am? I lost my train of thought. So then she drops her pregnancy plan. You know, that's the reason the mom is moving in. I'm like, girl, you're not pregnant yet. And when we start doing this, not you announcing a baby moving in before the baby, but her mama pulled the move like the mama on Baby Boy. Shout out to Baby Boy. Baby mama told her, once the baby get here, you know, I'm moving out. Mama gotta have a life too. Brit asked Kelli how are things going with her. Kelli lets her know everything is fine. She fills her in that she met up with Cynthia about all the shenanigans that happened down to the pool in Nashville. She also lets Brit know that Cynthia was inviting them to the Bailey Q, and that she's gonna have a prophet there as well. So Brit replied, you know, we need it. And Kelli, you know, Kelli been getting shady lately. So that's Miss Shady. Talking about, ooh, honey, hopefully that prophet doesn't send everyone in the lake. Because everybody going to need to be dipped. I say tell the truth and shame the devil. Now we over at Miss Diane, or should I say Porsha's house. And Porsha was there, her mom, Miss Diane was there, and the sister Lauren. I think Lauren asked her something about, you know, like, things were going so good, you know, how did things go south in Nashville? In so many words. So Porsha, she brings up that Nashville was cute until she got a call that Dennis and Porsha, who said they were not going to film behind her back. Okay? Now sis, Porsha, you mean to tell me you mad that your baby daddy filmed with Drew, a cast member, on the same show you're filming on? But it's okay for you to, let me say this in a different way. You throwing threats out there that you willing to drop it like it's hot for Charles. Baby, Miss Diane is over it with the Dennis situation. I can't defend you anymore, Dennis. She drops her head. I'm like, you need to be correcting your daughter. But we gonna get to that. Porsha being animated and extra. All I was asking for, Dennis, this one time to choose me and Pilar right now. Go lay down. So then we get the flashback of Dennis and Porsha in a car. I believe that was episode 2 or 3, where she basically was threatening Dennis. You know, telling him that if she see him on camera with anybody other than her, it's gonna be a problem. And my response to that is, ma'am, do you and Dennis have a co-parenting relationship? Y'all friends with benefits? Are we watching Mob Wives, or is this the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Like, what the hell is going on? Then she goes on to say that you know, her and Angela got into it, and Angela came stomping, you know, Angela came stomping downstairs talking about who called me Big Bird. She didn't actually say, see, that's how manipulative Porsha is. She wouldn't come out and tell her mom and sister that I said I would drop it like it's hot for Charles. No, that's not what she said. Apparently I said some stuff that I don't remember. Then she goes on in the confessional to say, you know, somebody called her Big Bird. Who called her Big Bird? Oh, that is just god awful. But then you admit to your mama and your sister Lauren that, oh, I called her Big Bird. The lies, Porsha. So what pissed me off was the way Lauren just laughed. The mama didn't say anything. The sister just sitting there kikiing and laughing. Girl, this isn't funny. Somebody needs to hold Porsha accountable before she is. Next thing we know, she's going to be blaming Jesus. You going to keep on playing with people. And I know you like to fight, but you're going to run up on the wrong one. And somebody going to pop you, allegedly, by playing in their face. Because you, Porsha, you doing the most. So yeah, that just disgusted me that they just went along with. And I didn't expect them to like go off on her in front of the camera, but it was a way that they could have let her know what she was saying and that her behavior is not okay without embarrassing her per se. But that just ain't cute. We move on over to Shamea's surrogate drama. Can I say something? Can I actually talk to y'all? Can I talk to y'all? Can I keep it real for a moment? I hope this don't come out the wrong way, but it is what it is. So Shamea meets with her former surrogate and a potential new surrogate. She meets with the former surrogate, Shadina, who now has her own agency, and she is there to meet the potential new candidate. Asha is her name. So Asha seems like she is sweet. Asha looked like she had just left home from cleaning and mopping, okay? But you seem sweet, Asha, so I'm not too much on Asha, okay? It looks like that Shamea is pressing forward. And so I just pray and hope that everything goes well, okay? But what we gotta talk about this is, I don't know if anybody's seen Shamea's vlog. So on her vlog, she mentioned that they had lost 4 boys. And I don't know if that happened with the surrogate or if she miscarried, not sure. But she did say that they lost 4 boys, okay? Her opening up saying that she's going to use a surrogate again to have an additional child, it really gives me pause. And I'm gonna tell you guys, like, we can't just let this is not gonna slide under the radar, okay? So allegedly, I checked into surrogacy rates, and surrogacy rates are about 40 to 80,000 to 100,000 within, but starts at about a minimum of 40,000 in the U.S. of A. They paid the surrogate $25,000, Shadina. So it's looking like they're gonna be paying Asha $25,000. Shamea, that's below budget. Okay, baby? For all the risk that these women are taking, I'm sorry, y'all, but this don't look like a blessing. This looks like a bargain bin baby deal. Now, if y'all remember, the last surrogate, Shadina, allegedly ended up with gestational breast cancer, if I'm not mistaken. Literally fighting for her life. Okay? And the baby was born with complicated health issues. So you would think they'd be taking extra precautions, investing in more care, right? You know? But no! Instead, we're back on this same ride with a new surrogate, low pay, and now this added pressure to deliver the Princess Zamunda. Because Shamea wants to give her Kenyan husband a son because he deserves it, as she says. Like, you guys are blessed with 2 daughters. So y'all just need a son? Like, this is looking so much like patriarchy. Like, can we say patriarchy? And look, I get it. I understand the cultural expectations. They are very real. But when you're using another woman's body to fulfill your dream, like, we gotta be honest. It's starting to sound less like family planning and more like womb outsourcing for legacy points. Like, this is not surrogacy. This is a strategy, okay? Like, let me be real clear. I respect any woman's journey to motherhood. But if the last situation ended with a sick baby and a sick surrogate, and we're still moving like it's just business as usual, lady, girl, that's not giving maternal energy. That's giving Amazon Prime parenting, quick, cheap, and no returns. And Shamea, your slip is showing. I'm going to get to that later on. They always say that birds of a feather flock together. I'm starting to see that you and Porsha are not that much not alike. Y'all are more alike than most people realized. Okay? But we're going to move on over to Miss Angela Oakley, okay? But we over here with Angela and Charles, okay? Angela tells Charles, excuse me, y'all. Oh my goodness. Angela tells Charles the Porsha tea that happened in Nashville. He tells her, you should have just stayed out of it. Okay? And his face looks like he bit into a lemon. Like, he don't want to hear this shit. So Angela lets him know that apparently he's easy to fuck. Baby, when I say Charles clutches his pearls, girl, he was sitting there looking at her like a deer in headlights. I'm saying to myself, where's all that mouth now, mister? Because he always have a lot to say. So he goes on to say that, yeah, apparently she told him apparently he's easy to fuck, and that Porsha said that she would fuck him. Excuse me. So he downplays it. He downplayed it like, Porsha don't know me. I ain't worried about Porsha. I ain't thinking about Porsha. Excuse me. And then he lets her know. He asked her, has she seen the ladies or Porsha since they got back from Nashville? She lets him know no. Angela tells him that she confronted Porsha. She went down to confront Porsha. And like I said earlier, Porsha disappeared like a thief in the night. Okay? She said it got real fast. Charles, I'm like, okay. So then she says it's war now. She lets Charles know that it's war. He said, okay, go to war. I say not Chicago versus Atlanta. So then Charles basically tells her that he wants front row seats the next time that the ladies meet up. She needs to let them know that she from the west side of Chicago. Don't play with her. Now that's what Charles said. Okay? Charles' demeanor and his body language was saying, and what he really was thinking was, Angela, please stay out of Porsha business, because I don't need them, Porsha or the other ladies, exposing me to get at you. Okay? That's what I got, allegedly. Okay? Girl, this bed is a mess, girl. They is a hot mess. After that, we move on over back to Miss Diane's house. Porsha is there waiting on baby daddy Dennis. Lauren, her sister, who is bringing the new au pair for Porsha and introduced to the family. Okay. And baby, when I tell you next thing we know, we got Lauren coming in the door, baby. And she walks in with this young South African girl. I have questions. Okay. I'm like, Porsha, you are really about to leave this fresh-faced, young South African young lady alone at Dennis' house with y'all child. Is this what we doing? Because she explains to the young lady that, she will be living in, because she told Dennis she's going to be living there, but she's going to be going between Porsha's house and Dennis's house. Of course, Porsha, she tries to reassure us, the viewers, in her confessional that Dennis is Pilar's father. We know that, ma'am. And that they're co-parenting. We know that, ma'am. Okay, sis. But listen up. Trust and boundaries are two different things. So let's keep it cute and cautious, because this don't look good. Lauren, heads over with the au pair to get settled at Porsha's over at the $7 million mansion that Simon is not allowing her to currently film in. Anyway, moving on. So we cut to Dennis, and after Lauren and the au pair and Pilar leave, Porsha tells Dennis, we need to chat. Girl, Dennis looking around like, where is the liquor? I need a drink. Where is the alcohol? Porsha gets right to it. So she tells him that she found out that him and Porsha filmed behind her back after they both said they were not going to film together. Here we go again with this. Girl, you just not going to let this go. Girl, we are over this. Like, what is this? Like, I'm like to myself, girl, if this is not World War III material, I don't know what is. But Porsha's in her confessional like, I'm evolved now. Girl, evolve where? You keep saying you moving on. You keep saying you don't care who Dennis sleep with. Okay? You said, you see Drew for who she is now. You ain't beefing with her, but you see her for who she is now and you moving on. But you keep coming back around to Drew and Dennis. My opinion is that Simon, I believe he is one of them encampments right now, waiting to be deported. Some kind of way he is getting to you either through the lawyers or somewhere, but some kind of way behind the scenes, Simon is running you ragged. And instead of you coming clean and telling the truth about you and Simon's relationship and what's actually going on with y'all, you keep leaning back towards Drew and Dennis, when Drew and Dennis is not the issue. But keep telling yourself that, okay? So Dennis lets Porsha know that she must have scared Drew off because Drew isn't a factor anymore. He's no longer producing. What he said, Drew not producing. He said Drew's not signing him anymore. Then Porsha brings something out the messages in. She looking through her phone. Drew tried to sleep with you. Dennis looking at her like, girl, what? When this happened? When I said this? So, girl, she want to fake ask him, can she put on his glasses, girl? And, she want to further look. Don't get out of our face. Don't sit down somewhere. Get out of our face with this stuff. Anyway, girl, they show the confessional. She sit at the confessional. He come to sit down at the confessional. She looking all surprised like she didn't know that he was going to be in her confessional. Girl, get out of our face. And the girl, what had me laughing was he tried to kiss her, what have you, because she talking about they brothers. Porsha, don't play like that, girl. We don't sleep with our brothers. So I don't even know why you playing like that. Come on, bruh. Girl, don't play like that, girl. So we move on from them with her pretending like he her brother. He tried to kiss her. Her acting all surprised and shocked that he showed up in her confessional. Girl, bye. Next we get on down to the family drama. Okay? I got to take a drink to this part. Excuse me, y'all. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Brit, Cher were over at the mom's house packing up their family home. But Cher is not having it. Okay? Cher has a story of her own to tell. Actually, I believe they all do. The mom and all three of the girls. But anywho, she basically was saying that they moved a lot. And, why can't they just have a family home that they all can come home to? So then Brit chimes in. It's like, dad passed away. Mama ready to move on. Mama needs to live her life. Then part of that Brit saying that is because your mama moving in to help you. So, of course, you would see it that way. Miss Center of Attention, trigger happy Edie. Cher goes on to ask, she says that, her dad built all of this. And I believe he built the house too, if I'm not mistaken. But she said her dad built everything. So she asked the mom, why are you giving his things away? Now, Cher, I got to disagrry on that. Now, they didn't say exactly, but I could see if your mom was giving away your your father's sentimental items, things that are valuable and sentimental. But 9 times out of 10, it's probably like his tools and little whatnots and stuff, okay? But anyway, baby, the tension was so thick in their house. Girl, next thing we know, girl, after Cher, checked her mom tried to check her mom about giving her daddy things away. Next thing we get to, girl, the mom just yells out, girl, just like belted it out. And I was like, wait a minute, like, oh. She just was like, he shouldn't have left me. Or he left me, one of the two. So then Cher yells at her, he died. I'm like, oh, Jesus, what's going on? So the grandma, baby, she had to come in like she was ready to give old Southern Baptist intervention on them, baby. She's like, y'all need to stop attacking each other, stop acting a fool, and y'all need to learn to just lean on the Lord, okay? Because it's ridiculous. Brit tries to bring peace by FaceTime, and she tried to diffuse the situation. First, she told her mom and Cher to, chill out, y'all, stop. And I think old Trigger Happy Edie was doing a performance for the camera. Miss Edie, you have come across as very attention-seeking, someone who likes to be the center of attention. All the females don't like you. You don't get along with females and stuff like that, So I find it hard to believe that you the peacemaker in y'all family amongst all the women in the family. I find that very hard to believe, okay? So, try again, okay? Because I'm not buying it, all right? They called the long lost older sister Tiara. And, Miss Tiara lets them know that, she's been grieving, sorry she couldn't be there just because she's not there helping them. Doesn't mean she doesn't love them. She loves all of them. So then Cher was like, you love me? And she was like, of course, Cher, I love you, girl. Cher breaks down, girl, telling her, that she understands that she's grieving, but it's not fair that they shut her out. And it's clear to me that whatever Miss Tiara is going through, Tiara is just not in a place where she can be around y'all family right now. She's just not there yet. And it is clear also that this family needs therapy, prayer, and maybe a 2-week retreat in silence, okay? Like, where is Iyanla when you need her, baby? They need Iyanla to fix my life ASAP, immediately, okay? Like, this is they could actually do a reality show. Like, they have a lot of there's some deep-seated, rooted issues going on within this group of women in this family. I'm sure that they all have a story to tell, and it is evident. And I don't know what the issue is between Cher and the mama, but baby, it's some fireworks there. We get to the shenanigans, y'all. Alrighty, we get to the explosiveness of the episode. So we at Cynthia's Bailey Q. First we get Miss Trigger Happy Edie. She arrives first. So next the prophetess, we find out it's a prophetess, not just a prophet. It's a prophetess, a lady. Her name is Natasha Leaks, I believe. Seems like she leaking tea like she on Bravo payroll. Okay? Because she was just throwing it out there. So first up, she tells Brit that, pretty much she needs to take care of herself. So then Kelli comes in and we find out, that her husband gifted her a car at their 10-year anniversary, and then he took it back and he sold it. Okay? And so Natasha, the prophetess, she shares with Kelli that he did that to be petty and vindictive. Okay? All right. This is the same man that threatened her in the courtroom. Yeah, we believe that. We believe that. We sure do. Kelli, makes it known that and I find that strange that they pointed that out, that she said that. That she said that, excuse me, that Brit was the only person she told that to. It kind of seemed like you was trying to say, like before you got there, did like Brit spill your tea or something? Because why would you point that out? That Brit was the only person you told that to. But anywho, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Miss Angela Oakley shows up, babe. That's my girl. I like Angela. I like Angela. So far, okay? Hopefully, Angela, hopefully you don't make me change my mind, girl. But you got the only person. I like Kelli too, but I'm still undecided fully. But I like Angela, okay? Angela shows up, and child, babe, the prophet, before Angela walked in, the prophet was talking to them about some energy and things like that. Baby, the prophet spilled some water right by her, and Kelli and Brit immediately clocked that energy. So, of course, the shady giggles ensues. They just kiki. So, Angela picks up on this. So, she kind of just look both of them up and down. Like, okay, I see what y'all on. Natasha introduces herself, Angela introduces herself, and then she goes on to tell Angela that something is going on with her energy, and that this could be in terms of an individual, like a spouse. Baby, you should have said, girl, Brit is, oh girl, trigger happy Edie, girl. She's sitting there looking at Angela, girl, with a smirk on her face in response to what the prophet is sharing with Angela. You can just see she just happy. She just waiting. She want it to be true that Charles is out here slanging peen. You could just see her wheels just turning her. She was sitting there she couldn't wait to say something. But Angela about to give you exactly what you looking for. Then Shamea, she comes in, girl, in her Juneteenth African get up, talking about, my husband from Kenya, there's no way I was coming in here, girl, without being dressed up, girl. Dashiki me, girl. She sits down and everything, and so then the prophet moves on to tell Angela that she and her husband need to take a vacation. They need to spice things up. Sometimes women, we lose our sexy for our man in the middle of work life, family life, get in the way. Two of them may have gotten comfortable. Girl, Angela jokes. Girl, I love Angela, girl. She has such a good sense of humor, girl. So Angela was like, girl, where my phone at, girl? Let me go ahead on over here to Victoria's Secret real quick, girl. Let me get this app, girl, and go to Victoria's Secret. So then we flash to the confessional, and Angela says, Charles' love language is cleaning. Angela say Charles' love language is cleaning up the damn house. And I was like, Your Honor, she ain't lying, baby. Because every time we see Charles go, Charles is either cleaning or cooking, okay? Every time we've seen Charles, he cleaning up or cooking, okay? So she said, she admits, romance does not live forever. And, you have to reimagine and reignite your marriage. But her and Charles are good. And she says that they've been married for 10 years. And it's, her and her husband against the world. Okay, that's what she said in the confessional. So I'm like, okay, go ahead, Angela. Then she goes on. This where the mess come in at. She sure had a lot to say to Angela. Out of everybody that was there, it was like she was focused in on Angela and Charles. So I don't know what the producers was cooking up. But everybody else, it was just like short, like one or two things. But with Angela, it was, she just gave them a 15-minute reading, girl. A 15-minute prophecy, girl. So she goes on to tell Angela, do he have his eye on something, a Porsche or something? Girl, Angela looking at, so I think Angela said, well, what did she say? Did she say, yes, he does? Shamea chimes in with her underhanded, messy ass. Like, I'm really starting to not like her. So she gonna jump in talking about, okay, so I'm gonna be petty. He got his eyes on a Porsche or Porsha. So girl, Angela looking like she side-eyed Shamea, the prophet, and all them sitting there. So Cynthia, they giggling, Kelli and Brit and Shamea, and so Cynthia is like, okay, like, enough, stop with the jokes. She didn't come out and say that, but that's what her mannerisms, and when she was just like, stop, stop with enough with the jokes about Charles and Porsha, like this ain't nothing to joke about. All of y'all sitting here, in so many words being disrespectful to Charles and his wife. Like, this ain't cute. So then the prophet moves on over to Shamea, and she tells Shamea that 2025 is her money-making year. Also that Shamea needs to lay low, whatever that means. So then we get Porsha. She arrives, and Angela's in the confessional saying that until her and Porsha address the elephant in the room about Porsha wanting to drop it like it's hot for Charles, Porsha gets nothing from her. Nothing. And I don't blame Angela. So she's going to give Porsha the good old silent treatment. Who was that? Oh, Porsha starts, so she moves on to Porsha after that. Before she could say anything, Porsha tried to deflect. Like, pretty much like, if I throw my own tea out here, she'll stay focused on this topic without going too far. So she starts up with, am I getting divorced? The prophetess Natasha, she was like, Porsha, really? She basically, to me, skips over whatever she was going to say to Porsha and just tells Porsha that once her and Simon's divorce is over, like once they get over the divorce, there's a chance that they'll be friends. So baby, Drew walks in, and I believe it was in the confessional, she just was pretty much, she walks in and she sits down, asks Angela how she was doing, gives Angela a hug, but so then the prophetess announces that she's going to talk to Drew about giving her word in private. So Porsha decides to be shady, and she gonna say in her confessional, Drew is so damn extra. She wants to tell the lies in public, but she wants to tell the truth in private. I say, not pot me kettle. Girls, then Drew was in her confession, with her mom being a pastor and with her spiritual background, that she's been interacting with prophets ever since she was Liberty Girl. And so getting a word from the prophet is personal to her, and she doesn't want the ladies getting any information that they'll be able to use as ammunition and weaponize against her later on. Drew. Anyway, so baby, here come the mess. After that, Natasha, after Drew said what she said, Natasha, she departs from the group. So I guess her and Drew go over on the side so she can give Drew her word. Porsha, I know you're not talking about nobody lying. Girl, you are fraudulent as hell. So anyway, Kelli moves on over because she was sitting by Brit. Kelli moves over to Angela, and she asks Angela, how does she feel? They hadn't seen each other since they got back from Nashville. So Angela says she's in need of a good vibe. So Trigger Happy Edie, she gonna jump in and decides to give her 2 cents. You get what you receive. You get what you put out. Angela asks Brit, did she have something to say to her? Because the energy that she getting from Brit, she not feeling it. Okay? Brit says something about the prophet was on point, and so Porsha was like, oh, she was spot on for everybody? And so she was like, yeah. So Angela was like, let's talk about it. So baby, Brit started yelling, do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Angela say, with that big ass mouth, I should be able to read the words. So then baby, Trigger Happy Edie tell Angela, sound like you need to use that mouth more often. Baby, when I tell you I was not ready, I don't think none of us was ready, girl, for Miss Angela Oakley, the word that she was about to give Trigger Happy Edie, baby. Because she read her for Philip. When Angela said, because she lit her up, girl. She said, I lost my train of thought. She said, after she said, sounds like, Brit told her, sounds like you need to use that mouth more often. Angela said, not with them stretch marks around your mouth. Baby, Brit, Trigger Happy Edie stands up, girl. Like she ready to fight Angela, Cynthia holding her back. But I guess they was at Cynthia's house, so Cynthia was probably like, yeah, I ain't about to tear my damn house. But this is the same person that wanted the world to be convinced that Kenya was mean to her and Kenya was accosting her and not the other way around. Okay? Girl, Angela tells Brit, you have miles on your mouth. Then she says, Brit, you are a whore. You are a whore, Brit. Girl, I say, oh, Jesus, Lord, help. Help him, Lord, help him. Girl, Angela saying, you are a whore. Not a hoe. Girl, not a hoe, a whore. Girl, I was not ready for it. Hey, Brit feelings was hurt. Because she tells Angela, maybe you should be a whore in the bedroom so you can keep your man. Girl, Drew is off over in the kitchen looking back. I cannot go over there. I gotta protect my peace. Say Jesus take the wheel, God. Drew say she is not here for it. Drew say she is not participating at all. At all, okay? Drew was like, deuces, girl. Drew say she not here for it. Angela tells Brit she might need to revisit her marriage. So then Brit gonna tell Angela that your husband has not acknowledged being married to you for the last 10 years. Angela says, baby, the world knows, okay? In so many words, baby, my husband is the NBA legend, the Charles Oakley. Who doesn't know who I am and who his wife is? Girl, bye. So Brit asks Angela, do the world know about that baby? And girl, Kelli, yeah, do the world know? Co-signing. I'm like, Kelli, mind your business. So it's like Brit has said numerous times that she heard that Charles had a baby on Angela, okay? And Angela turns to Kelli that's sitting by her like, who is the baby? You better come with receipts. Spreading rumors about my husband. You better come with receipts, okay? So meanwhile, Shamea and the confession are talking about if it was her, she would be hurt, but they would allegedly take the outside baby in since she and Gerald have been trying for a baby for so long. I'm like, girl, Shamea, you talking about this baby like it's a stray cat or something. Like, what is going on here, man? This is not Noah's Ark. What is happening? And when I said earlier, y'all, that Shamea has some deep issues that have not been brought to the forefront, and I said her slip was showing. When you are saying you would be okay with taking a baby from its mother, if your husband had a baby outside y'all marriage, why is he younger when you need her? Baby, that is downright gutter snipe behavior. That is some gutter snipe behavior. What is wrong with you, girl? Like, what's the tea? Cynthia want to be the peacemaker, girl. She tell the ladies she knows the emotions are high, but she invited them to celebrate Juneteenth and to get to a place of peace and healing. So she proceeds to do this little like Juneteenth quiz. And so Bravo misses here. They decide to do a Porsha history flashback. When I say, baby, when I tell you, Porsha just be saying stuff and just be all wrong. So Cynthia asked them, like, what was the drink for Juneteenth? And she gonna yell out Hennessy as the Juneteenth drink. God, drop my damn remote. I say, girl, Porsha, you are proof that a pretty face and absolutely no brain. Porsha, are you dumb? She always say the stupidest stuff like they flashback, girl, to Bravo hits us with the iconic 2013 flashback when they was the Underground Railroad. Girl, she talking about when somebody had to be driving the train. I'm like, this girl, oh my God, oh my goodness. Girl, Porsha, you are dumber than a box of damn rocks. Someone had to be driving the train. Girl, Jesus, take the wheel. Excuse me. Girl, what? Just say somebody had to be driving the train. I say, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. Lord, help us. Help us, Jesus. Help us. Anyway, y'all, please like, comment, and subscribe. We almost out of here. So, then we get, like I said, Cynthia, after that, she decides to play Peacemaker, continue to play Peacemaker, actually. They go to eat, and she came over, she told the ladies while they were sitting there eating that she needed to pull, I think she needed Shamea and Porsha to stay back, to hang back. She needed them to go to the, I think she said the private room. Anyway, so, she gets Porsha and Angela to talk. So Angela calmly breaks it down. You know, she basically tells Porsha that her inviting Drew it came from, her intentions were pure, it came from a good place. And she says to Porsha, I believe that you knew my intentions were good. Okay? And she tells Porsha that she felt attacked. Porsha does this whole gaslighting the whole situation. Like Angela basically blew past her invite rules. Girl, what? If Drew wouldn't have came on that trip, Drew wasn't gonna get her check. So now you trying to mess with Drew money? Allegedly. So then Angela basically just tells her, you know, basically at 3 a.m., all I heard was you saying you'd fuck my husband. And Porsha, of course, lies as usual. Has the nerve in her confessional to call Angela Dumbo by her big old ears. She can hear everything. Just shady and childish. Just immature. So basically, Angela tries to keep it classy. She apologized to Porsha if she offended her. Cynthia asked Porsha to apologize to Angela because Cynthia came in and she was like, you are an apology. And she was like, but she, girl, what husband? So then she, instead of apologizing, she decides to just be stupid, in my opinion, just had the gall to just say ditto. Girl. So we pan on over to Brit and Kelli heading outside, and baby, they are gagged because Angela gagged the hell out of Brit. And so Brit says Angela's deflecting from her own marriage problems, that she has some deep rooted issues in her marriage, and she's deflecting, okay, projecting, deflecting. We get Shamea, and we scroll on over. Porsha and Angela had hugged it out prior to that, and went their separate ways, whatever. Actually, Angela stayed in the room, and then Cynthia went and got Shamea and brought Shamea in the room. So Shamea wants to know in the confessional why Angela's making peace with Porsha, but still mad at her. Or mad at her more than she is with Porsha. Porsha was the one that said it. So Angela says, point blank, your best friend said she's asleep with my husband, and with you being the married woman in the situation, and with us just, mending our little situation that we had back in early episodes, basically I expected more from you, and you laughed. Baby, Shamea tells Angela that's not her business. Porsha was beefing, Angela and Porsha was beefing, and that is not her fight. Angela says okay and gracefully agrees to disagree. In the confessional, Angela says, in so many words, she sees Shamea for who she is now. And it was her bad that she, had a higher expectation of Shamea. And Shamea not who she thought she was. Hey, when I tell you the girls are dropping like flies, Miss Angela Oakley is laying them down one by one. So Angela also says that in the confessional that Shamea said some things that she disagreed with, and that Shamea is gonna have to respect that she don't want to be bothered with this shit. Point blank period. All right, y'all. So, ooh, baby, this episode was messier than a peach cobbler with no crust. Do you hear me? The shade, the lies, the disrespect, Porsha playing in our face, Angela holding class and grace while laying all of them out, Shamea acting clueless, still on Peach Patrol, all up in Porsha's behind. And in the coming episodes, we see her breaking down behind her bestie, allegedly. All the girls surrounding her trying to hold her together, because she just having a meltdown behind Porsha. And Porsha sitting over there acting like she could care less. But what do y'all think? Leave your comments. Give me some feedback. I have some questions here. So was Porsha wrong for the husband comment? Is Angela Oakley overreacting? Or just finally seeing the light? Who is Shamea really? Like, who is Shamea? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Tap that notification bell so you don't miss a single thing that I drop. Till next time, stay shady and stay watching. This is Tylane with Tylane Ducksworth Reviews, and I'm out. Bye, you guys.